Welcome to the Prometheus and the Ecosystem Community Meeting. Just a reminder to everybody that we follow the Cloud Native Computing Foundation Code of Conduct. First on the agenda, Julian.
Yes, so we have released Prometheus 2.31 this week. So the release was delayed because of CI issues. In that release, we have two new service discoveries, so Oyoni and Puppet. I'm more excited about Puppet because I'm using Puppet a lot at work, and this will ease a lot of our pains there. Just having a generic implementation directly in Prometheus will help a lot. And the other thing that is in that release is a new service discovery manager. Basically, with the current manager, when you reload your configuration, your Prometheus configuration, Prometheus will reconnect to all the service discovery sources. So it will stop all the Kubernetes watches, start them again. It will just keep stopping and starting them. And with the new service discovery manager, we remove that part. So we can just keep the watch if they are still valid. So if the configuration has not changed, we just continue watching console, Kubernetes, and all the other service discoveries. So it's a great improvement, but it can also break some workflows. So that's why it's behind the feature flag for the moment. We also made it in a way that it is in the old code paths, which means that all the systems that depend on Prometheus will also get the new discovery manager out of the box. I have tried to warn the one I know that if they want to use the legacy one, they can, but by default, they will also get the experimental one. It's experimental because it might break some users' workflow. I want to get more feedback, but I expect that in 1 or 2 releases, this will just be the default for all the Prometheus users. So that's for the 2.31 release. There are lots of other stuff, but I encourage you to look at the release notes to get more on it. And then we have something new. I will, if there are no questions, I will go to the next point. So the next point is Prometheus 2.32, and here we have something special. So the Prometheus release cycle is usually 6 weeks. So every 6 weeks, we cut a new release candidate of Prometheus. Except that in this case, there are a lot of requests, a lot of demand for the new agent feature of Prometheus, and it has been merged to main. So we have, I will propose in the developers mailing list that we cut beta of Prometheus 2.32 as soon as next week. So we get user more time to test that new feature. So we will probably issue Prometheus 2.32 beta 0 only for the agent feature starting next week, and maybe do multiple beta before the actual release candidate. So it is a bit outside of our usual release schedule, but we see there are a lot of demand for that feature, and we want to have early feedback so we don't break the users directly when it's out, or we don't have really important bugs when the first release is out, even if we expect that the feature will still be experimental for a couple of releases. But this is the way that I would like to do. So we really want to focus multiple betas probably in the next 2-3 weeks before the actual release candidate. So that's quite exciting. Because it's a big feature that has been requested for a long time. So for those who do not know, the Prometheus agent is the Prometheus without the local storage. So it means that Prometheus will do the scraping, the discovery, and it will do the remote write to endpoints. So it is very useful if you want to only use Prometheus with Thanos, if you only use Prometheus with Cortex or with your cloud provider, because more and more cloud providers support remote right now. So this is coming, and we will probably have beta. But if you are interested into that topic, follow the developers mailing list where I will probably announce the plans that I have, and then we should get lazy consensus before maybe Monday, so we can probably do the first release on Monday. And that's it for me.
Thanks. What's up next is, since we don't have any other core updates and announcements, let's do ecosystem updates. Paul.
Yeah, so few updates regarding Prometheus operator. We are starting the contributor office hours bi-weekly every Tuesday at 3 p.m. UTC. There's an agenda doc linked. This is to improve our experience of contributing to Prometheus operator and Cube Prometheus and kick it up a notch. And later this week, Prometheus operator v2.32 is coming out. There will be more improvements regarding tenancy and mostly alert manager config CRD. And we are finally caught up with remote write implementation in Prometheus. So SIG-v4 will be supported also in that version. And regarding the other announcement, PromScale v0.62 and 0.70 beta 1 came out earlier last month. So in 0.62, we have bug fixes mostly. However, 0.70 will have already has a beta version of ingestion for tracing data. So we're trying to get all the observability signals into PromScale at once. And that's all announcements from my side.
Really cool. Do we already have plans for the Prometheus operator to support the new Scrape Manager? I was just like quickly looking into the docs and issues. I don't find anything yet.
Oh yeah, I already forgot about it, but I wrote it in docs. I started kicking up work on Prometheus Agent inclusion in Cube Prometheus, because from what I saw right now, the configuration for Prometheus is compatible with, Prometheus Agent is compatible with Prometheus Operator. There's a PR out. I will take a look at it more later, probably closer to the 2.32.0 beta 0 release of Prometheus. However, it seems that everything is compatible, so there will be an example and I will write a doc about it.
That's really cool as well. Nice. Okay. Any other questions? I think we're at the end of the agenda, so go ahead.
Yes, I have a question for Powell. Do you know which API you will support to query the traces? Will you support a Jaeger-like API in the PromScale?
Right now, it's OpenTelemetry collector mostly,
Okay,
and
so
Jaeger API. There is a plan for Zipkin too.
okay, thank you. Just a note for the operator. So the difference between the agent and the normal Prometheus is that the agent mandates you to have a remote write, and you also cannot have recording rules, and you cannot have alerting configuration, which means that if you put them in the configuration, Prometheus will not, the agent will not start at all. And if you don't have remote write, it will not start at all. But that's the only.
Can I have a question, please, for Julian? Are there any plans to enable probably recording rules and or alerting in agent on the scrape data you scrape, that's agent scrapes? My use case is, well, pretty simple. Just for example, node exporter exposes core consumption, CPU core consumption by core. And it could be quite useful for end users to not collect all of those metrics because, well, thousands of cores, and that is going to be quite expensive. But to, I don't know, to record some rules that those cores dedicated to processing network were consumed 50%, those cores dedicated to apps, well, 10%. You get the picture.
Yes, so I don't think there are any plans to do that now because Prometheus, then you can just use the full Prometheus. I understand the need. I know that some people have already been thinking about that, but I don't think that anything has been done in that direction yet. The issue being that we really want to have a low consumption agent, and we expect that you have remote wire that can do those recording and alerting for you. So that's why it's not currently really planned, or at least it will not be in the 2.32. But you could read in the design documents. I think maybe it was mentioned because I've already seen that request that you could maybe look at the data to create some alerting rules, but it's not an easy task because we really want to have low consumption agents, and querying data is something that takes a lot of resources, the same as recording rules because they also query the data.
Okay, I was thinking about maybe implementing it if it goes in line with Prometheus's plans.
So I encourage you to maybe read the design documents, and otherwise you can always open an issue so we can discuss that more in details and see better decided trade-offs. So that would be an issue on the Prometheus repository.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, great. So possibly looking forward to that issue. And then if there aren't any other questions, just waiting a sec, thumbs up. Okay, then we will see you next month once more for this year, and then that's already it. And yeah, I'll make sure to announce it earlier again, and then more people should be able to join. But we do have the recording, and I will make sure to upload this to YouTube, and then we can send links out to folks.
I have one last detail. The Developer Summit will be moved 1 week earlier because of Thanksgiving and New Year's holidays. So it will not be the last Thursday of the month, but just the Thursday before that for November and December. This will be announced also on the mailing list.
Great, good for pointing that out. I do think I usually see this in my calendar. So hopefully this will be updated on the Prometheus calendar as well, right? Okay, awesome. Well then, see you in December. Thanks everybody.
See you. Bye.
Bye.